First we dark, and then we dungeon. Hello, gamers. It's time for the final countdown, showdown, epic duel between some guy with leprosy and Cthulhu. Some guy is probably going to win. It's the indomitable human spirit or something like that. I mean, really, who knows? Yeah, but once you've beat the first part of the Darkest Dungeon, you notice things get a little different. You know, the sky's all red, and you start hallucinating a little bit. It's a bit spooky. It's not quite as spooky as a skeleton, though. I mean, those things are scary. Boy, I sure hate to meet a skeleton ever. Yeah, it looks like everything's working. Alright. Shambler when? Well, we beat the Shambler. We beat the Shambler on champion level. And we beat the Shambler's cousin in the first section. Which, I think the Shambler actually stops showing up if you beat the first section of the Darkest Dungeon. Don't quote me on that. But I think that's how that works. Well, that was weird. Huh. Well, anyways. It's probably fine. It's telling me there's an error. It's probably fine. What could possibly go wrong? But yeah, there's not really anything else to do other than go straight to the Darkest Dungeon. 68, yeah. Which does mean that this might end up being a bit of a short one. Everything is fine, right? I do have the settings correct. Yeah. I do. Activate 3 Iron Crowns. Well, I mean, it is a little concerning because the Darkest Dungeon is definitely a lot harder than the other areas. On top of that, I haven't actually beaten the game a bunch of times. So I can't say that I practiced this much. Compared to the regular dungeons, which you do a lot in a regular run anyways, it's very easy to sort of get used to them and figure out how to operate in them relatively safely. But the Darkest Dungeon, it's the hardest part, and because not only is it the hardest part, but you do it once at the end of every playthrough. So unless you've beaten the game like 10 times, it's kind of hard to say that you've mastered it. Well, there's nothing to do but take the plunge, I suppose. We can, in fact, hear you fine. Excellent. Yeah, because this is the setup I went with. Let's just go over before we head in. In the front splot, cooler guy finally gonna get to show us what you can really do against the Templars. I wanted to say this before bed. You are a good creature, and here's some money for a sody pop. Oh, well, thank you, Tyler Morgan. I do consider myself a good creature. I'm glad to know that the people agree with me. As a representative of the people, your opinion means a lot. Tyler Morgan. Alright, yeah, starting with the Legend Leper. He's got natural swing, so that accuracy is pretty important because lepers tend to struggle with accuracy. Call the streamer a good boy. Yeah, more or less. Although I do like the word creature. It has a nice ring to it. Some kind of goddamn creature. My bones are ready, boss. I hope so. Yeah, it reminds me because there's a... Someone did a parody of analog horror And it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Because it's like a lot of analog horrors use like default icon stick figures and then just kind of twist them around a bit to make a monster. At least on YouTube anyways. And someone did a parody of that and it's like, everything was great until the appearance of some kind of goddamn creatures. They are like human, but different. You can tell them by their difference. Now that's some peak right there. Ever since I saw that, the phrase, some kind of goddamn creature, has stuck with me. Yeah, I am some kind of goddamn creature. That's true. It's a known fact. But yeah, I think build-wise, let's see. In theory, Revenge could actually be quite good here. Obviously, we're going to give him the Talisman of the Flame. The only one who doesn't have it is the Vestal, because the Vestal's going to be protected by him. We're going to make up for the lack of accuracy trinkets by running a Jester. Will also serve double duty in keeping stress down. Oh, camping skills is probably something I'm going to have to look over. I didn't prepare those. Yeah, but the flexibility of having both Chop and Hew is nice, although I guess I could drop it for Revenge. Reduce dodge and increase damage taken are not the end of the world, since they have such massive HP. And the extra accuracy, damage, and crit are nice. There's no doubt about that. A creature, a cryptid, some may say. Might even classify it as an abnormality. Yes. An Aleph class abnormality. YouTube streamer. Causes great mental damage on a wide scale. Suppression recommended immediate suppression. I mean, Hew is nice for the flexibility when it comes to dungeons, but I am considering switching it over for Revenge to sort of power through boss fights as fast as possible. We don't have to worry about stealth in the Darkest Dungeon, so that does remove that utility here. Although being able to nerf them, the fact that it can reach the back row and do some damage is somewhat useful. And the fact that it reduces their attack is also kind of nice. It's probably better to grab these two though. But then again, this is the build I'm familiar with, so there's not much point in changing it now. It should be good enough. Got the right skills, natural swing, precise striker, crits are always good. Evasive, some high dodge for a leper. Unholy is the least common type, but it's still present. And the negatives are mostly Curious, Flagellant, and Bad Gambler have no impact in the Darkest Dungeon. Sickly, actually I don't know if you can get I don't think you can get diseases while you're in the Darkest Dungeon either, so none of these actually matter. All of these are basically moot. Backtracker doesn't really matter either, but I mean, 4 positive quirks and no relevant negative quirks is a nice setup. I'll probably grab Quarantine. No, I probably want Encourage. Yeah, no, probably Quarantine. It does do damage to him, but he can heal it off with Solemnity or some food. And the stress healing overall is better. On average. Theoretically, you could miss both rolls and get 0. Which is a bit silly, but it can happen. Yes, that's the lead slot. The second slot, Flawed Release, while we're not using any range skills, so that doesn't matter. Night Blindness, a little bit. Potentially annoying, but we're going to be fighting in full light levels anyway. So that's a non-issue. I think the main thing is that he doesn't really have positive quirks, though. Like Armor Tinkerer and Weapon Tinkerer, neither, like, we've already fully upgraded him, so that's not helping. Healing skills while camping is whatever. Scouting in the Ruins does nothing. I guess he does more damage if he's at low health, but I'm not super excited about that. No back row damage? Yeah, not really. I mean, she does have the Prophet's Eye and the Judgment, so that does give us okay back row damage. We have something. And if we really need to, we can use the combo of Solo into Finale. That's an option. Although the fact that it moves him into the back slot and then deactivates her Prophet's Eye is a little annoying, but... I mean, that's something that you should be using to end the fight anyways. Strictly speaking, it's not that big of an issue. But yeah, his build... I mean, his main job is to use Defender on her, and then set up Retribution. So the other two moves aren't as important. I do have Rampart to help fix positioning and also stun. Speaking of, we don't have too many stuns. But it might be better to just run like, maybe not Command, but... He probably needs to continue running Crush so he can reach into the 3rd rank. We don't have, like, hitting the exact last spot is kind of the hardest for this team, but hitting having this to hit rank 3 is nice. Retribution plus Defender is useful. But I am considering running, like, Bolster. It is very good. Bolster instead of Rampart, because basically we have 3 boss fights in this part of the dungeon. More or less. Ruina looks a little different. Yeah, it's the new Library of Ruina DLC. It's a little different. Speaking of, I should probably... Yeah, I think I'll probably pick up Library of Ruina when we finish Lobotomy Corporation. Command probably isn't that useful. It's just kind of a worse version of what the Jester's already doing anyways. 20% damage to the guard. Well, that'll go up if I level it, but it's, again, not super useful. But yeah, Bolster's probably going to be good for the boss fights. There's no doubt about that. Probably more useful than Rampart. Because we don't really want to shuffle these two positions too much. I guess it's not the end of the world if the Leper is in spot 2. But, yeah, I think we're going to get Bolster. For starters. Yeah, I think that's how we're going to run it. They shouldn't be shuffled. Well, that's not... They do shuffle us there are some attacks that can push us around a little bit. But nothing unmanageable. Yeah, even if he gets pushed to the back, he can use that. And this, I guess. Yeah, 10 dodge and minus 20% stress. That's pretty good. On top of that, he can get another camping skill. Maintain equipment is okay. Tactics is a lot better. Yeah, if we combine Bolster with Tactics, that's 20 dodge across the board. Even if you don't have a lot of dodge, like 25. That's not too high, but if you can push it up to 45, that's pretty good. At that point, it's like, okay, that's some real stuff right there. One companion accuracy and speed, probably not as useful. Weapons practice is probably more useful. I don't know if I want pep talk. We don't have too many camping skills that do healing, right? I mean, on the stress side of things, the Jester should keep everything under control, so I'm thinking we'll just go with these. We'll use his unique skills. Give us some options, at least, even though some of them are better than others. When it comes to you, we definitely want turn back time. Right, it's 30, one target, 30 stress, but if they're afflicted, it's 45 stress. So it has a decent chance of, if someone gets afflicted, this is probably the best way to undo that. Mockery, I think, is kind of useless. Every Rose Has Its Thorn is like the best party-wide de-stress. It's the best at that role. This is the best single-target de-stress. This is a nice combat buff. And then the Mockery is just another way to reduce stress, but that's already covered with these two. So instead, it's probably better to go with Wound Care to get a bit of extra healing. Yeah, I think if you're running the Jester, this is the best for... Like, just don't bother with the other three. Encourage is going to be worse than Turn Back Time. Pep Talk is worse than Every Rose Has Its Thorn, and then Mockery is just kind of a worse version of these. Not strictly speaking, but... I mean, why would you... Why would you use Mockery when you have so many good options available? On the other hand, We've got Stochastic Turtle, who was supposed to be a Bonk Vestal, but we never got the trinket for it, which is a shame. Now, we don't need to worry about nighttime ambush when we're in the Darkest Dungeon. I guess the enemies play nice, so to speak. Religious, eh? Well, we do have a leper in the party, so religious buffs are somewhat helpful. But yeah, we don't need this. Yeah, Bless is really good. Chant one companion. I mean, it's a de-stressor, which is okay, but it's only really good against religious targets. Play is reduce stress and increase protection. It's a bit awkward. We definitely want Bless. I think we want Pray and Wound Care. But I want Encourage. Probably... we switch this over to this. Yeah, I think we leave it like that. That covers everyone's... yeah, that covers all their secondary skills. Cooler guy like this. He doesn't have any particularly useful anything, but the combination of Bolster plus Tactics gives a massive party-wide dodge buff. It's huge, and then he can use Protection to protect her from the Revelation attack, while combining it with Retribution to set up a lot of riposting. And then also, Crush can reach into rank 3 to help cover our lack of back row damage. This guy, since we have to run the Talisman of the Flame, I think it's a good idea to run a Jester. Because you basically have to give up... it eats up a trinket slot on most of your guys, which, in that case, normally you'd be forced to basically just run an accuracy trinket, which makes you significantly less powerful. But in this case, we can substitute the accuracy trinket with the Battle Ballad bonus instead, which then leaves the one trinket slot open for something else. And of course, stress management is useful. And if something stubborn in the back row, we can hit it with Finale if we have to. Finally, to keep everyone's health topped up, we have a simple Vestal. Being in the back row, Prophet's Eye makes her attacks also fairly useful. It's the only stun that we have on team, which is not ideal. You usually want more stuns, but we'll have to deal with it. And Judgment can actually do some good damage in the back row thanks to Prophet's Eye. Let's see. Clotter is nice. Hard Noggin is... there are a couple of stuns, so it's okay. Natural Eye doesn't do anything. And once again, Dark Temptation, that does nothing in the Darkest Dungeon. He doesn't have any ranged attacks, so Flawed Release doesn't matter. We're not in the Weld, so that doesn't matter. And that doesn't matter. So none of these negatives actually matter. But on the positive side, the main thing, I guess, is the Bleed Resist, since there are a lot of bleed attacks that can be troubling. Gestal Man. Yeah. Gestal Man-at-Arms and Leper. That's the plan. Yeah, one Leper, one guy. I'm pretty sure it's minus 15 stress, not 45. See, that's what you would think when you look at this. It says minus 30 stress and if afflicted, minus 15. That's because the wording on these abilities is just absolutely terrible. It is atrocious. It's almost like they designed them to specifically mislead you. The way that it works is that it's minus 30 stress, and then if afflicted, it's another minus 15. So if they're afflicted, it's a total of minus 45. The way that it's worded doesn't make it clear, but that's how it works. It's the same thing with a lot of the percentages, like percentage chance. So another one is like this. It says all companions, 50% chance minus 20 stress, 50% chance minus 15 stress. So what you would think with that is that it's a 50-50 chance of either minus 15 or minus 20. That's not how it works. It actually is two coin flips that are separate. So they could get 0, 15, 20, or 35. That's not how you would intuitively think of it, because 50 plus... you would think that it's half and half, one or the other, but no. It's two coin flips. Each of those are separate... you can think of them as separate effects. It's a little annoying the way that they word these things, but yeah, that's how that works. It's just cursed wording then? Yeah. Hello, Mitsubishi Lancer. Wait, wrong chat. Ah, yes, the Mitsubishi Lancer is retired, though. Speaking of, I'm not sure I actually changed that character portrait back, so we might... When I start my next run, we might actually run into a Mitsubishi Lancer in Star Sector. Which, honestly, I'm inclined to leave... I'm kind of inclined to leave it that way, because I think that's funny. I think the wording is fine. It's going through the statements one by one. I mean, from kind of a computer logic perspective, yeah. It's just that from an intuitive perspective, when you see 50-50, the intuitive way to look at that would be that it's half and half, and not two separate effects that are being ruled separately. And finally, let's see. Natural Swing is nice. Combined with Prophet's Eye, she should basically... Stochastic Turtle should basically hit everything. That's a total of 20 accuracy. Gambler doesn't do anything. Mercurial, I mean, as long as we don't get afflicted, this should have no impact. Stress Eater, yeah, both of these are basically getting stressed is bad. But we have a Jester, so that should be under control. Tough, I mean, max HP is not the most useful stat, but it is useful. And then these are Warrens and Wild, which don't do anything. So yeah, the Cooler Guy has fantastic quirks. Everybody else, they're just kind of okay, but not negative. But none of the negatives really matter, so as long as that's the case, I won't really complain. Alright, I think that covers all of our tactics and planning. Ooh, tentacles. Wow, scary. It does feel a little silly leaving the pen behind. But I do think the 25% damage is probably better. Even with the minus HP and the higher stress value. I mean, it's 25% damage. Like, that's a big number. I'm going to activate 3 Iron Crowns, of course. Okie dokie. Stack up all that. Since we have medicinal herbs for free, we'll probably just... Hey, don't do that. I don't need shovels, but I am going to want torches. Holy water. Theoretically useful, but usually not. Maybe I do just take one more stack of torches. I don't think you need laudanum. I really don't think I'm going to need more than 24 torches. The question is, what else do I take in that case? It's either bandages or anti-venom. Or maybe I save some money. Yeah, because we've maxed out on food, we've got all the torches we need. Sort them like this. Well, we are going to be consuming these, so it's kind of annoying that they're in that spot, but whatever. Food like this, cures like this. I think this is good. Have I ever been afflicted yet? I don't remember. Which DD is? Yeah, this is Darkest Dungeon 1. Or no, sorry. If you're talking about, like, the dungeon itself, we're on Dungeon 2. We've got to have the Talisman of the Flame. I like how the economy is so balanced, you end up running out of money even in the late game. Good evening, by the way. Yeah, I think the economy side of this game is... maybe its strongest point, young archivist. I think it might be the strongest point, because the combat itself is like, you know, it's good, but I think what really sells it is the fact that you've got to constantly manage between things like bandages and antivenoms versus filling your pack with supplies. I think that... really, the inventory management is kind of like the core mechanic in a lot of ways. Although arguably it's the stress. Arguably it's stress and affliction, but I think that's something that makes the inventory management so important, rather than the other way around. Right, stress and HP are things that punish you for poorly managing the inventory, I think. Hello, Darkest Jonjin. Hello, Hamers. Yeah, sorry, Gello Hamers. Yeah, naturally. That's a sensible way of putting it. Did you know that if you switch the first letters of Darkest and Dungeon, it spells Darkest Dungeon? Coincidence? I think not. Yeah, I don't think I need anything in this slot. Which feels bad because we are going into the Darkest Dungeon. But, I mean, it'll be fine, right? Definitely. Well, bandages aren't that expensive. I'll just fill it up. Fuck it. We don't want to die from the finger now, do we? Getting fingered to death is no good.
The thing has no name, or it needs no language. Nevertheless, those who would submit to its word, this will, are rewarded in a fashion. The creature's blessings are as repulsive as they are robust. Twisted, half-human monstrosities stalk the flesh-ridden halls, protecting their gestating god.
A gestating god? No way. Yep, we've got 3 boss fights to hit here. Or I guess they're more like mini-bosses, but... I mean, it's the Darkest Dungeon, so it might as well be a boss fight regardless.
Flesh. It crawls steadily upward from the pit, supported by the lattice of cyclopean pillars.
Yeah, it's kind of the same as the first area, but now there's flesh growing over everything. Alright, they get to go first. That's not ideal. Didn't bleed. We resisted the bleed, so that's good. Alright. Yeah, the first thing we're going to want to do is stun you if we can. Nope, that's a resist. We buff. We buff and we tough. Deathlash, that's fine. This much is manageable. Well, we are going to have to worry about Deathlash, so Retribution might be better. And just slap him. Well, we want to keep our health topped up, so we'll do that. Flesh to flesh. Is he? Is he stupid? He's healing the one that's at full health. 32 damage on a regular attack is a little... you know what? I think defense... Since we've killed one of them already, the main thing we have to worry about is a random crit. So I think Bolster's actually the right call here. Yeah, see, we dodged. Easy dodge. And now we can start undoing some of this stress. Nice. And that should take care of that. Slap this guy for damage. The finger. He got hit anyways, of course. That's a bandage. Right. Let's heal you, and then we should kill it with the... yeah. Bonk.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
It sure does. Eat a couple snacks, and we move on.
They can be beaten.
We go down. Further into the Darkest Dungeon.
The light, the promise of safety.
Well, you call it the promise of safety, but there's no promises in this area. Yeah, this is a little bit of a tougher fight. I don't think you I think you do have to prioritize the priests, right? Flash walls to the one in the back. I mean, that's fine. It's easier to hit the one in the front. They all have high stun resistance, which makes this... Well, it's still a 70%. It's actually not bad. In fact, I might stun this one. Yeah, like that. Bro, you're gonna have to start dodging at some point. Somehow the front row is dodging better than the Jester. This is nonsense.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Just play your funny song, Magic Man.
And purpose.
Yep, just take care of that. Death Lash. No problem. The Jester's throwing because it's funny. That is pretty... yeah. That is very Jester-like. How long does that guard last? Apparently it lasts quite a while. It has to. I guess I'll set up a riposte. Not quite. The finger. Crit for 21, but it's on the leper, so he kind of just tanks that. The big thing is the stress there. The finger already has a high stress damage, but coupling that with a crit means it does a lot. You know what? Let's go for a stun. Resist. Shame. Yeah, I think at this point we remove you.
Give them no quarter.
Yeah, there we go. Another crit. That's yucky.
Left unanswered.
We should be able to stun him. No, we're not getting any luck on that front. The finger again, although we dodged this time, so I guess that's cool. With a massive 25 dodge, he manages to dodge another finger. Insane.
Inspiration and improvement.
Leaved it all. Oh, wow, 1 HP. Come on now.
Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
What's the debuff? 1 round? Okay. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we go down. Into the depths of hell. Yep, there it is. Alright, mini-boss. 72 versus 90. Yeah. We could try... should probably try stunning the back row. Even though they're resisting every time. It's a 70%, so that's not lucky.
Are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
We do want to get... okay, banish. Oh, yeah, that would be... if the leper gets pushed to the back, that would be a problem. I think we have to use Defender first, because Revelation's a problem. Yeah, there it is. The Talisman of the Flame protects you from that, but if you don't have it, you're in for a bad time. Alright, big crit right off the bat. Dodge the Torment, insane. Crit on that, so that's a stun, finally. Now we bolster. Please dodge, fuck. No, he didn't even resist it either. I might have been better off using the boots. But, this is manageable. We just swap that. If the Jester misses his turn, it's not the end of the world. Man, that poisons a lot. It's a good thing I brought the anti-venoms. We dodge those, we dodge those. about to run out, so I think we have to do it again. Because the second you let your guard down, you know this fucker. You absolutely guarantee you, the second you don't guard that the person without the talisman, you're getting hit with a revelation. Yeah, even the leper is feeling the pain. That being said, at this point I should probably stop trying to go for the stun and just heal up a bit. Accuracy, crit, and speed is nice, let me tell ya. Retribution crit, kinda pointless, but I'll take it. Oh, yeah, you resisted it, huh? Well, if you get pushed back, it's not... Ugh, that's annoying. No poison this time, though. Another? Come on, be reasonable. This'll probably... This can kill. It might not, though. It's safer, I think, just to move back, to be honest. Fuck it, we ball. Shit. That crit riposte is nice. Let's take him off the table. Yeah, that's a lot. But we can start using Solemnity now because we've taken out the boss. Well, you know, quote-unquote boss. We can worry about healing after the battle, to be honest. Crit, that's good. Alright. Dodge the banish. De-stress yourself. 7 damage, no big deal. And this should... Well, actually, I think we can just kill it next turn. I don't think they get reinforcements in this kind of fight. Yeah, crit it with the stun. Let's go. Okay, reposition. We do this crap. And then we walk back the way we came. 1 down. Byte per turn is mad. Yeah. See, the only thing that does a similar DPS is the big crabs in the cove, where Arterial Pinch does 10 bleed per turn. But of course, the difference is that Arterial Pinch does like 2 damage up front. All of the damage is in the bleed. The stingers on these guys do the same amount of blight damage, but on top of that, they also do good damage up front as well. It's no joke. You know, we should probably camp first. Yeah. We camp, we feast.
A moment of respite.
Do we need to feast? Not really. The stress is nothing. The HP is not super... It's only on these two, which we can do later. It's probably still more efficient to do it this way. And we have 14 points. Shroud. Move resist. I think we need to use Bloody Shroud. Move resistance is going to be important. In addition to the other resistances. Let's see. Tactics. 10 dodge across the entire team is nice. Extra crit is nice. And if we stack up Bolster, then our dodge is huge. Instruction? No. Weapon practice might be good. Yeah, I think weapon practice is also quite good. And that leaves us with 4 points. Everyone's at full HP and 0 stress, so we don't have to worry about that. That's a 3. We could do maintain equipment. It's not crazy about it, though. The 15% stress resistance is across the team is okay as well. Accuracy and dodge is also pretty good. Maintain equipment, for a single target buff, it's pretty expensive. But we have a glut of excess points anyways. So stacking this with the defender means that his protection will be really high. So I think that's probably worth doing.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
I was a plague doctor before I died. Yeah. I'm under the impression now that the first dungeon, the first part of the darkest dungeon, is not good for plague doctors. Something like this second dungeon, though, as you saw, there was the two guys in the back. Hitting those with the blinding gas is really good. So in this dungeon, I think the plague doctor gets a lot better. But in the first dungeon, she didn't seem... Well, the hallway fights, she was good, of course. It's just the boss fight. The plague doctor did, like, nothing. And then died. No skill swap needed in this dungeon? Yeah, we don't really need to. There might be some things you could do there, but I think we've got a plan that works, just in general. Alright, flesh wall, go for it. Crit does make that easier. Oh yeah, you can heal them, that's fine. Yeah, probably better off just attacking. One down. Death Lash. Rank 4. Okay, yeah, we can't stun that guy, so we're kind of stuck with this. That's fine. Man, one-shotting these guys is nice. Oh my... They always crit you with the Death Lash. That's crazy. It's every time they Death Lash, they crit one cooler guy, but then they don't crit the Man-at-Arms. What's his name again? Midav. It's insane. So when are you going to do a run of XCOM 2 with mods that make the game extremely cursed? Probably not. Besides, I've got to start with XCOM 1. Because the two games are different enough that I think the first one has its own appeal. I say the first one, I mean, you know, the first reboot is what I mean. Damn. I know, a real shame, huh? Yeah, the strategy's working a lot cleaner than the one we had for the first dungeon. Alright, let's take a left. Probably don't need to eat food for 5 HP. I'd rather save some for later. Breaking news, streamer knows numbering system. Possibly.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
Yeah, see, it would have been a waste. Okay, I think this is number 2. This one should be... No, it's above us. Okay. So we've got one more room. Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer. Why, thank you. I'll keep that in mind. So that one's guarding that one. I guess we can just smack the shit out of this guy then. Try stunning this one. Oh, it worked. 98% stun resist. And we break through. There's the stun. Yep. Daze the Mind that these things have is like the one stun in the game that actually has a good chance of activating. I guess we'll use the... Yeah, you can kill this one then. Nice. Crit was a bit excessive, but I'll take it. Ouchie. There we go. This last guy shouldn't be too threatening. Yeah, it does some stress damage, but that's about it. We can manage that. Yeah, you've got to use it on yourself this time, and then we clean this up. That, yeah, you're a little... Still missing a couple points of health, but that's fine. Okay, here's the second boss fight. Now, unlike the first one, which was Blight, this one should be more bleed-oriented. Yeah, and he's in the back, too. Okay, good. We start with a dodge. You'll love to see it. Revelation, that's fine. 72%. Our luck with the 72s are not great, but I'm still going to try. There we go. Stinger shot. Yep, that's a dodge. I think we just kill this one.
The wounds of war can be healed, but never hidden.
We want to bolster as well. Yeah, the dodge being 78 there is pretty good. Oh, it also has Blight. Never mind. Let's see. Lead with an anti-venom. Oh, you left it on 1 HP. No, 3 HP, huh? Alright. Now we keep stacking that. We'll wait until the very end to actually de-stress. Crit, that's helpful, actually. It removes the corpse so that we can immediately start attacking like this. Yeah. Oh. Whoops. Yeah, I forgot. I needed to reset the... Like I said earlier, the second that you forget to set up the guard, the revelation is going to hit your guy who doesn't have the talisman. And it's, yeah, 20 damage, 40 stress. It's a bit excessive. That being said, we have the tools to compensate for that. Another crit. Well, I mean, the total crit... If you check... Wow, we're destroying this guy, to be honest. Even with getting hit the revelation there, we're still just destroying this guy. Let's see, 12 crit, 5 crit. Yeah, that's like 17%. On top of a lot of other bonuses. Let's remove some of that stress. You know, you could actually just kill it with Judgment and also heal at the same time. I think that's fair.
Monstrous size has no
Yeah, compared to last week, we're definitely running through the second dungeon a lot cleaner. I think that's the power of having having the right guys and the right strategy. Probably the best for the first dungeon would have to be a dancing team, right? Where you've got a lot of mobility. That way, when you get shuffled, it doesn't really matter. You could probably take the first dungeon just using using 4 Crusaders, to be honest. With like battle healing and Holy Lance, they've got like good damage, and then they've got good damage in the back row. You can have stunning strike in the front row, and then battle healing doesn't heal as much as the Vestal, but it can be used from the front row, so even if they get shuffled, they can still use it. I mean, we have the option of resting again. I think we'll go for one... Like, we do have the buffs lasting one more battle, so we'll probably just do that. It's a lot of meat in the dungeon. Yeah, it's basically the same as the first area of the dungeon, but now there's meat growing everywhere. Cool, right? Yeah, we have to take out the priests, I think. Set up that. Deathlash, riposte. Excellent. It even resisted the stun on a crit. Wow. That's unlucky. The leper dodged, though, so I guess it's fair. Let's hit another riposte. I think we're going to start winding down and dealing with this stress. Party-wide heal. Then we're going to kill this thing. I don't think you can one-shot that, so we're going to bolster. Minimize the damage we take this turn. The meat lover's part of the dungeon. Oh no, that's coming up next. Don't worry, there's going to be even more meat. The further we go, the more meat there is. Alright, kill this. Excellent. I will be honest, the fact that we don't have back row damage doesn't matter that much. Mostly because we're just critting everything. And it seems like an unreliable strategy, but when you stack up the crit buffs from Battle Ballad, you actually have pretty good chances of killing one of the 2 front rows with a crit, and you only need 1. You only need to get the 1 and then you're good. Yeah, I mean, this guy can't hurt us. So, stress healing. We might actually backtrack to camp, because there's probably going to be a fight in the next room. I'd rather fight it with our buffs.
Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
You know what? We'll take the fight. Fuck it. We'll camp in this room. Oh, there was no fight anyways. Look at that. Yeah, we camp here.
A spark without kindling.
We could save on food. But I think we do the same thing we did last time. Feast. That gets our stress 3 in 1. I mean, imagine camping in this area. That's so nice, isn't it? Bloody Shroud. Tactics is good. Weapon practice is good. And then maintain equipment. So yeah, he's got 10 dodge, 5 crit, 15 protection, 15 damage. What's yours? Oh, he actually got the... He got the 13% crit. 13% crit, 13% crit. Nice. Yeah, with these kinds of buffs, we should be able to steamroll this. I knew it. Of course it's nice to camp there. You can make a kebab from the wall meat. Oh yeah, that's true. There's supplies everywhere. You don't even need to bring food. Just scrape something off the walls. Tasty. Let's try stunning this guy, and then killing... No, I used Flesh Wall. Zafinga. Alright. Bandage time. Yeah, with him guarding him, it's better to go with the defense. Yeah, we're going to bolster again. Try and dodge, because we can't kill it this turn. Nope, we get crit. Not quite ideal. Left on 3. See, now that's much better. Not a crit. And there we are. Nice and easy.
Victory nonetheless.
Kid named Finger. Yeah. Where have I heard that one? You know, there's these that go off in these directions. I've never actually gone this way. It's probably nothing, to be honest. You know what? Based off of the shape, this could actually just be a loop. Just looking at this, they're probably just loop. There's not really any point. I mean, there might be loot. Probably not, though. It's probably just there to confuse you. It is the darkest dungeon, after all. Not everything needs to make... Not everything's going to be convenient for you. Alright. Yeah, now we fight this. Stun chance is 42%. I mean, 42 is... probably better rolling that than trying to do, like, a little bit of damage. Yeah, even with a crit, it didn't happen. Ow. Yeah, our best bet is to just beat the shit out of this guy. Bro, I haven't even had a chance to set up my protection yet. Stop! Well, it's a good thing he didn't target the Vestal when... But man, the Man-at-Arms really low rolled to speed, huh? Ow. Yeah, that blight is a bit ridiculous, to say the least. Revelation, that's fine. That's another crit, let's go. Cooler guy is gaming. Massive crits. Stack up the dodge buffs. Uh-huh. Yup. The Vessel doesn't have to worry too much about healing herself because she's getting protected. Man, there's 3 crits in a row. He's going insane. What is that? I mean, she does still get hit by the area of effect there, but... you know. Hopefully we're gonna kill this one nice and quick. But yeah, the area of effect healing should be enough to keep her out of range. Yeah, okay, so we just kill this guy. Of course we crit, so his corpse is out of the way.
Greater the glory.
This guy, that's 4 crits in a row. Dear God. The Darkest Dungeon didn't stand a chance. I mean, I could use solo. I could go for finale, but at this point, I'm not even sure why bother. Five crits in a row. He's insane. We actually used up all of our anti-venoms. That's crazy. Alright, here it goes. Bam! Nope, 3 HP. Alright, here we go. Intimidate.
A victory.
Hit him with a big Intimidate. Bro really showed up and chose violence today. Dude just entered the dungeon and started swinging, that's right. Yeah, his crit rate was probably up at... Yeah, it's very high. I think it's actually lower... Yeah, I think once you add in the 3rd stack, it goes up even higher. Wait, hold on. What is it maxed out? Yeah, total of 18. Yeah. Camping skills 13. The Jester is adding 18. I mean, still, even at 36%, 5 in a row is a bit crazy. Not that I'm complaining. Yeah, and the 15,000 gold we get as a reward should be enough to carry us through the next dungeon. Or buy supplies for the next dungeon. Yeah, Dark Temptation doesn't matter. Stochastic Turtle even got Eagle Eye for more range damage. Actually kind of good on the Vestal, I will say.
The maniacal cultists are quelled for a time, but there can be no celebration. Your progress is measured only in progressive realization and dawning horror. You are in the shadow of the end.
Don't need that. Let's see. Yep, so that's a clean run. Look at that. Now then, that means our next 4 is this setup, which I really hope works, because this dungeon is a little quirky. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go to the bathroom, I think, before I start planning this. Give me 1 second. Dear God, that's a lot of lobster. Elite lobster knowledge. Okay. Yeah. Let's get ready. So, I think this is good. Well, field dressing might be better. It doesn't remove blight, but that's... I mean, in general, the healing is better, so it's probably still worth it. Marching plan is good. Yeah, field dressing is better. That's for sure. Okay. So we swap that over. Skills-wise, what have we got? Yeah, I don't think we want those. She's basically going to be spamming Sniper Shot, and then occasionally using Battlefield Bandage. I'm not sure Suppressing Fire is going to be too useful, but the reality is that for the Arbalest, most of her skills are just not that good. Like Sniper Shot's solid, Battlefield Bandage is solid. Rallying Flare at least gives utility. This is nice against regular enemies, but I'm not sure about Darkest Dungeon enemies. I guess we'll find out. Yeah, I don't think I'm changing her setup. Yeah, okay, can't run that. I think yeah. If I remember correctly, I think what we're going to do is run Cry Havoc. Possibly Guard Dog. Because he's in the back row, so he can't really use his Blackjack. I'm not really a big fan of Hound's Harry. There's probably a use for it, but splitting up your damage across the entire enemy team just doesn't seem very useful. Definitely needs Target Whistle. Lick Wounds, Target Whistle, and Hound's Rush I think are mandatory. Not taking Hound's Harry, we can't use this, so it really is just a choice between these two. Now, we do have Rallying Flare for some stress healing, but it's probably good. It's not amazing at it. Although, to be fair, we do get to camp 4 times in this dungeon. That's one of the gimmicks of this dungeon. It's not just a long dungeon where you get to camp twice. You get to camp infinity times. Well, not exactly infinity, but you get to camp more than any other. Because the main gimmick is that certain enemies... Well, hopefully we won't have to run into it, but you'll see. Yeah, I think I misspoke. I don't think it's 4, I think it's 3. Yeah. No, it is 4. Okay. Right, because it's short is no camping, medium is 1 camp, a long is 2 camps, and then this is exhausting, where you get to camp 4 times. It's, yeah, this dungeon is huge. Although if you know where you're going, it's not that much of an issue, but again, as long as we can handle the gimmick, we'll be fine. I kind of don't want to spoil it, though. Yeah, I think we'll lead with Guard Dog, but I do want to have Cry Havoc available. Because we may, like, if we end up really stressed, then being able to switch over to Cry Havoc will probably be useful. It's always good to have a backup plan. Yeah, and this is going to be straighteforward. Weakening Curse will probably be useful against the mini-boss. I think, yeah, Hands from the Abyss for the stun is just kind of standard. Although it's probably not going to be useful against the mini-boss. But, whatever. Stab is good. Weakening Curse will be good against the mini-boss. I could run Hex. I could also run Hex. I don't think we can stun the mini-boss. It might not be possible. In which case I might want to switch over to this, but we do have it leveled up already, so that's fine. It's already an option. And then once again, we're just running a standard leper build. Early Riser, another Precise Striker, and Slugger. He's definitely going to need Steady is also really good. And then none of these. Well, as long as, yeah. As long as the torchlight is high, then none of these matter. And that's just how it's going to be. But we don't have a Jester this time, so he needs maximum... He's going to need accuracy. So what's the best choice then? Focus Ring is of course an option. It's kind of hard to beat Focus Ring. The other is Fortunate Amulet. Do we have Cleansing Crystal? I don't think so. No. The Crucifix probably should run that on somebody. Probably. But we'll see. Yeah, I think we just go double down on accuracy like this. It's 8% crit, 18% accuracy. Yeah, again, we're probably not going to use Intimidate. Even Hue is kind of questionable, so I'm tempted once again to go for Revenge. Because it is kind of a damage race. And for that purpose, that's better. Yeah, we're probably not going to use Hue. I think I'm going to take Revenge. It's time to take revenge, but not in that meaning. Hey, stop flickering. It's scary. Yeah, 35% damage, 15 accuracy, 11 crit. Take 25% increased damage, but we should be able to manage that because we do have multiple healers. You didn't even use Hue last time, yeah. It's probably better to do this. Even if we don't end up using it, I think it's more useful as an option. I guess it's the same thing here. Being able to set up the mark for these two in the back is nice, rather than him using it, but Target Whistle is a lot more reliable at actually hitting its target. See, accuracy. Accuracy 115 versus... I don't know how you miss a Target Whistle, which is probably why it has the highest accuracy, but the fact is, it just gets better accuracy and debuff chance than the other hexes and the other marking effects. It's like this one's like 140% chance, this one 170% chance. It just works better for some reason. On top of the fact that stripping out protection is generally more useful than the other debuffs. It's a little crazy, actually. Why do you not bring 4 Crusaders? Because I don't have 4 Crusaders. If I did, that would obviously be the optimal strategy. I actually just started playing this game like 2 or 3 weeks ago, so now I get to watch these. Hell yeah. Well, we are going into the Darkest Dungeon, so as long as you don't mind spoilers for the end game. Does it strike me as too plot-driven? Well, the final Darkest Dungeon does have some nasty surprises, you might say. And there is a plot twist at the end. Right? The lore reveals go crazy. So whether or not you want to watch that is up to you. Now, when you beat the final Darkest Dungeon, the ending cutscene does give you... Well, I guess it's not really the ending cutscene. It's the entire 4th dungeon does contain some interesting spoilers. Although the first 3 aren't as... The first 3, it's mostly just the combat that gets spoiled, but the last one does have story spoilers, you could say. Yeah, I think that's fine for you. Dark Ritual... Yeah, he does have the ability to remove mortality debuffs. That's better than Abandon Hope, for sure. Switch over to that. Commune also does nothing, because we don't have to worry about ambush. I guess we can run Abandon Hope. It's not bad. It does require getting a little bit lucky, because if you get that 15, then it's not... I mean, on average, it's just kind of okay, I guess. Probably better running Wound Care, to be honest. But we'll worry about that at the end. You, Man's Best Friend. This doesn't do anything. Scouting doesn't do anything. Yeah, Therapy Dog, Man's Best Friend, and... I guess it kind of doesn't matter that much. Both of them are in the same bucket. Yeah, honestly, I might just save the money. I don't think it matters. He's already, like... Wound Care, Therapy Dog, Man's Best Friend are basically all he's going to need for the Darkest Dungeon. The other options, Hound's Watch and Release the Hound, are nice in regular dungeons, but they don't do anything here. The Leper, right, Bloody Shroud. We do want that. Quarantine, Reflection, Bloody Shroud, and Wound Care, yeah. Skills-wise, everyone is clear. So that just means we've got to worry about trinkets. I mean, if we can stun the boss, or the mini-boss, rather, this might actually still be good. It does depend. I guess we'll get to him in a second. You are kind of in an awkward spot. Natural Swing does help quite a bit. We might be able to get away without using too much. Crit on melee skills is not super, doesn't really do anything for us, but Eagle Eye helps. Oh, he has Scattering. That would have been nice to remove. It's fine, he's more of a utility character, I guess. It's 110 accuracy, doesn't quite feel like enough, but also there's not much we can do about that. If we had the Ancestor's Pistol, this would actually be good here, I think. Not sure how carrying a pistol makes a dog more accurate, but it does. Oh, you know what? The Crow's Eye. That's 10 accuracy. 15% stress is quite a bit, though. And the other two effects don't matter. 10 accuracy for 15 stress. Not the best deal, but it's certainly worth considering. Yeah, beat the game and come back. You've got 5 minutes. My worthless uni had their web service crash, and now I'm here. Well, it's because whoever was in charge of like server maintenance knew that the stream was happening, so they crashed it as a way to get out of doing their job, so that they had an excuse to be here. If one of the Dungeoneers got slipped by a banana peel, would they suffer 100% stress? I guess it depends if there's anyone there to see it. If they're by themselves, they probably only take 25% stress, but I think for each additional party member, they take another 25 out of embarrassment. So if you've got a full party, then yeah. I think that's how that works. Yeah, I mean, he's going to run dodge, because he does have guard dog. Although I'm tempted to put it on him instead. This is where, like, the camouflage cloak would be really nice. You. Medic's Greaves is definitely worth considering, since you are the backup healer. And with 33%, you are actually healing similar to a Vestal for single target. Accuracy's not as important, but it's probably still worth thinking about. Yeah, 115 baseline is really good. We might actually run Vol's Tassel. Huh. We might actually run that. Wait a minute. 10% damage and 5% accuracy. So it gets us up to 120 accuracy, which should be enough. Also just damage in general. The other option is, oh, you know, Prophet's Eye. Yeah, we're probably going to run Prophet's Eye. The accuracy is a bit overkill, but the speed and stress reduction is... Wolf's Tassel. Probably going to stick that on someone else, actually. Yeah, I think she needs just raw damage, because we're probably not going to have a chance to mark the guy in the back. Ideally, we would just one-shot it, although I don't know if we actually have enough damage for that. I think in the end we just run this combo. It's plus 5% stress, plus 3 speed, 15 accuracy, 25. Yeah, I think we run that. Awesome, my mouse broke. Nice. I'm tempted to give him this. Try and cut down the boss faster. Actually, hold on. I mean, he doesn't normally benefit from hitting marked targets, but the 20% is big. The 10 accuracy, 5% crit. The hallway fights shouldn't be an issue in the first place. I guess it depends on how much I value the dodge if I choose this. % stress. Probably the small drop in offensive stats probably worth the increase in dodge, to be honest. But yeah, we're gonna have to mark the main thing. We're gonna have to mark that guy. If we use Revenge and then also have this, we should be able to power through it. Hopefully. I do think we want to camp before we actually... We're probably going to use one of our camps early just to buff. Because we want to... If we get lucky and we just power through the first mini-boss, then this is actually going to be a pretty short run. If we don't get lucky, it's going to take a while. So we might camp early, just to make sure we get our chances as good as possible. Yeah, I think we're just going to toss on this. Although it's so limiting if we do run this, and the chances to stun are already really good. Hold on. What is the actual stun resist on this thing? Let me look this up. 97.5. That... Huh. I mean, that's a lot, but that's 150% base. If you throw this on, that's 170%. So the chances are actually pretty good to get a stun. But I don't think it's worth it in the end. Yeah, I think we're actually going to run Vulnerability Hex instead. Mark the target with him, and then all the others. Megamax, if he's carrying the tassel, is going to do more damage, and the others also do more damage. Weakening Curse does have its uses. Well, it's going to be more useful in the boss fight, so in the hallway fights, this is still going to be nice. But the mini-boss is what we're mostly worried about. I think we're going to skip the Demon's Cauldron, though. 20% damage is nice. Mostly doing utility. Might even be good to run bonus healing. I definitely need some durability because he's at the front, though. Ooh. Maybe we run the Goblet. 20% max HP, 3 speed, 8 dodge. That's a lot of extra stress, but if it's the only plus stress item, then it's still within... It's still manageable. And the stat bonuses are huge. Like if we pair that with a Feather Crystal, we're up to 46 dodge and 13 speed. No accuracy bonuses, which does mean Sacrificial Stab is probably not going to hit much. But his other moves are fine. Yeah, Sacrificial Stab's more likely to be our last resort. There are other options besides the crystal. Let's see. 2 speed, 5 dodge. 2 speed, 8 dodge. We could run this. Slightly lower dodge. And more... I think the damage bonus is nice, but the plus 10 stress when we've already got the Tempting Goblet is probably too much. Book of Sanity to offset it is also okay, but I really think the Feather Crystal's... The Feather Crystal Tempting Goblet combo is probably what we're going with here. Because he is... I mean, it is... he's in the front line, and he's mostly doing utility. So for that purpose, this setup is probably good. And that just leaves you. The coat is good. The coat is definitely good. If you want to attack with the dog, because like right now, to be fair, right now we do have Megamax and Manboy for damage. So if these two aren't running accuracy trinkets, it's probably not the end of the world, even if they miss. And instead focus on utility. Also, I figured out why Guard Dog is so annoying. It turns out, Defender lasts 3 turns. So you can alternate between using Defender and using something else. Whereas Guard Dog only lasts 2 turns, which means you have to spam it every turn. Otherwise it runs out. How annoying. That's so annoying. It's still useful, of course, to save someone who's in a bad spot, but... man. That being said, the fact of the matter is we might not be able to one-shot the guy in the back with Sniper Shot. So having a follow-up of Hound's Rush would be nice. And then these two can focus on... he can focus on, like, healing or debuffing. A little bit of both, possibly. And he can focus on just DPSing the guy in the front. So with that in mind, I'm kind of torn between choosing a defensive trinket and choosing an offensive trinket here. I guess the candle's kind of both. Damage, speed, and dodge. It does mean he's taking 20... you know what? Actually, 20% stress between the two of them is still better than what just the Tempting Goblet alone. So I think that's fine. Yeah, I think this is probably our best bet. No accuracy bonuses, though, but he does have natural swing, so his accuracy is 110, which is... okay. It's a bit rough. The 5 accuracy on the Sun Ring is tempting. Yeah, I think we're kind of just gonna have to live with it. I think we're just gonna have to rely on the bonus from natural swing. And possibly buffs? No. He can buff his accuracy. When we camp, what are we gonna use? Probably Marching Plan. I think we use a Restring Crossbow and then Herbs to remove the speed debuff. Dark Strength, that's gonna be useful. Yeah, Bloody Shroud, Reflection, that's 5. So that's 7. That's 10. And that's like 13 out of 14. Having 1 excess point's not ideal, but I guess we can live with it. Yeah, it's going to be a little awkward, but I think we can run that. Alright. Fuck it, we ball. Skills are in order, trinkets are in order. Yeah. I love how this segment became a trinket tier list. Well, we're going into the darkest dungeon on the highest difficulty, so preparation is key. Join stream. Fuck it, we ball. 10 out of 10 intro. You picked the best timing. You picked the best timing. Yeah, we take a full stack of each of those. Take all the food. You know what? You can leave that behind. Take a full stack of these. Yeah, that basically covers what we need. We've got all of these. We've got dog treats. Everybody loves dog treats, don't they? I mean, with dog treats to buff the damage, I'm not actually sure we need the bonus damage from the candle. But again, what do we have for accuracy choices? We have the Sun Ring, which is... We have the Crow's Eye. Yeah, I think I'm just going to stick to the candle. It's not perfect, but it's what we've got. I could stick a food there. I am tempted to go for Holy Water. The problem with Holy Water is it only lasts 3 turns. If it lasted longer, it'd be so much more useful. It would be so much more useful. That being said, I think maybe we actually just take torches in case we get unlucky. Because if we get lucky, we're not going to need to use most of these. If we get unlucky, we're going to need a lot of supplies. So, yeah. Into the 3rd dungeon we go.
The interminable stone holes are but an antechamber. The creature is vast beyond measure, and must be battled from within. Step over the threshold, and let the terrible truth worm its way into your mind.
Oh yeah.
The Gateless Gate. A maddening aperture to realms beyond human understanding.
Oh yeah. We're in the belly of the beast, in a very literal sense. Compared to earlier, I like how they do the transition too. Like the first area is like this cult-like stone cathedral. Then the second area, it's the same architecture, but now there's like this overgrowth of flesh. And then the third area, the flesh has completely buried all of the stone architecture. You're like, look at this. You can't even see it anymore. I think we go to the right. I've done this before, but only once. Yeah, we go to the right. Alright, our first fight should be here. Again, it really depends on... So the first fight's not too bad. It's just these things. But following this, it really depends on our luck. So this is where stuns are still going to be useful. Man, that 13 speed going crazy. Because even without any stun bonuses, his chance is just so high that it should work against basic enemies. Nash. Nash Magash. Doge. Immediate crit. Nice. We love those.
How quickly the tide turns.
That's hitting a little harder than I would like. Yeah, he's hitting the basic enemies at least. I think we're going to int him. We'll kill him next turn. We want to turn to actually heal. Crit heal 42. Excellent. Just healed the entire HP bar in one go.
As the fiend falls,
Okay.
hope blossoms.
This is where things are going to get a little interesting. So, I think we camp. We want to buff. We want to power through this if we can.
A spark without kindling.
He does have a bit of stress. I'm actually... Nah, I think we have rations. 19's not a lot, and we can cure that. Okay. So a few things. Number one, I think we restring crossbow. The damage buffs and accuracy buffs are really big. The speed penalty is kind of bad, but use herbs, no speed penalty. Marching plan to buff everyone else's speed. Dark strength on you as well, which is going to stress him out, of course. We might actually use Abandon Hope to get rid of his stress. We could Abandon Hope into Therapy Dog to cure... Yeah, that actually might be the right call. And then at least it's 2 points for Bloody Shroud. Yeah, minus 10 stress, plus 2 speed. He's got those resistances. She has a bunch of damage buffs on top of what she's already got. Dismas Head plus Prophet's Eye, so...
The match is struck.
Let's go.
A blazing star is born.
We're going to run into our first mini-boss relatively soon.
Spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
Yeah, that probably shows up, doesn't it? Yep, there it is. This guy. Well, I did forget. Yeah, it doesn't matter, though. Weakening Curse. How much HP do these things have? 30. She might be able to do it? This thing is... trouble, though, I will say. And he missed. I think... we do this, because that removes the protection, it marks him. You should be able to... Yeah, she's not going to one-shot it. I'm a little scared to use Revenge, but I think we... 35% damage is a lot. Oh, you know what? We can use herbs to actually remove those. That's something I always forget. Dodge is good. We love dodging. I think you heal yourself. The damage debuff doesn't really matter. Yeah, if you can one-shot that, that'd be great. The mark. Ooh, this is going to be good. 56. Summon. Yup. So by the way, the gimmick is that this thing will this thing, the longer it lives, the higher the chance it uses its move that teleports you to a random location in the dungeon. This guy in the back. And this thing keeps respawning it. So you basically need to snipe this thing repeatedly, or you are going to get teleported to a random... Not only does it teleport you to a random spot, it teleports you directly into another battle. So if you're fighting this thing on a low HP, sucks to be you, straight into a new battle. And then you have to figure out how to get to the heart of the beast from wherever it teleports you. And there's no matter what route you take to get to the heart, you always run into at least one of these things. Yeah, I was not really ready for that on my first time. We did win, but we took a lot more... We had to survive a lot more death's door checks than I would have liked. It definitely came down to luck. And, of course... That's so annoying. Oh, wait, you can't actually remove the... Oh, they thought of that already. Yeah, I want to use medicinal herbs to remove the damage taken debuff, but they actually don't let you do that. You can see it's a different color from the regular debuff, and I can't use the herbs. Unfortunately, the mark already wore off, which is annoying. Still gonna hit really hard, though. Ugh. Do I just stab it? It's not going to do that much damage. It's probably better to heal. We might be able to just destroy it now. Yeah, if we crit it like that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I said we had to get lucky, but it looks like if we just have a good strategy, then it's not an issue. Fuck! Never mind. I'm like, oh yeah, if we just have a good strategy, it won't teleport us. Motherfucker. Of course, we killed the mammoth, but we still got teleported immediately. That's so unlucky. The chance of it using it had to be like 12%. Ah, I hate you so much. It's all because he missed the stun too. If he'd hit this, then it would have not have been an issue. You fucker.
Eradicated.
But yeah, compared to the last time I've done this, this went way easier. Holy shit. We just destroyed the Mammoth Cyst. Normally it took me like I say normally. I haven't fought it that much, so the first team I took did not perform too well. I guess we'll leave it at that. It looks like because we're in a new fight, he can actually use Revenge again, even though he still has the buff, which I find interesting. I think we did get a little bit lucky though, because we're not that far away. Because we were here, and we only got teleported here. We could have gotten teleported, like, way down here. Which would have been a lot worse. Yeah, I think this might actually be the best location you can get teleported to.
The way is lit.
Because we're so close to where we were anyways. And in fact, strictly speaking, we kind of bypassed the... We bypassed the mammoth, even though we did kill it. Of course, didn't work. Oh, he's marked too. That's probably less than ideal. Well, they're going to focus him, so we can probably just guard him, and then that'll be fine. Yeah. Predictable, as always. You know what? Suppressing fire is actually coming in here. Oh, and they resisted, of course. I don't know if these guys actually have the teleport, because they're not exactly the same. But, I'd rather not take my chances if I can help it. Yeah, guard dog was definitely the right call there. Fuck it, just shoot him. He left it on 2, of course. Didn't get stunned though, so that's fine. Don't get pushed. Yeah. Not that that would ever happen.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Yeah, the dodge is definitely paying off.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Crit for 43. Easy.
A momentary abatement.
Yeah, we try to heal up. Man, comboing those two is crazy. Oh, it dodged. Ugh. That seems very unlikely. Yeah, the thing is, the Arbalest's heal, the secondary effect buffing other healing, kind of goes crazy with weird reconstruction, because if you get even like a 10, or let alone more, it gets really big. Yeah, I think we just walk into this room and camp again.
This expedition at least promises success.
Yeah, you can see the rib cage that we're standing in. Lovely, isn't it? Yeah, the stun resist on that thing is actually quite high, so it's probably better off just doing this. Yep. Easy dodge.
A singular strike.
Remove that guy. Alright, we're looking pretty good. Always bet on nothing ever happens. That's true. It's a pretty safe bet.
Precision and power.
Yeah, we're gonna feast. We do want to top off our HP here. Alright.
A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, okay, it is exactly what I think. Not taking any chances, though.
Gathered close in tenuous firelight, an uneasy companionship.
Actually, using Dark Strength on the leper might be more worthwhile. Well, regardless, I think a restring is good. This time, I think we are going to use Dark Strength on you, and then also Reflection for the insane buffs. We could use Marching Plan. Yeah, I mean, 19 stress, not the end of the world. I think we Bloody Shroud Marching Plan. Leaves us with 1 point left over. We could click that, but it's probably not worth it.
The light, the promise of safety.
Consulting a map, I see. Yeah. Going in blind is definitely going to be hard on this one. Which, I consider it fair game since I've beaten it before. This is not my first time going through this dungeon, so just rather than trying to go off of my potentially spotty memory, since I've already beaten it before, I think it's fair game to consult a map. Yeah, resisted the debuff. Yeah. Not gonna resist this, are ya? Nope. Because it's the Houndmaster target whistle. You can't resist it. It's just not allowed.
Exposed to a killing blow.
Ooh, miss? Can't say I'm a fan. He's getting good rolls on those heals, which is nice. More like based and goated. True. He should die to... Yeah, he's dead to the bleed, so we can just do this.
Their cursed champion falls.
Okie dokie. So with that in mind, here we go. And so the real test begins. Bro cannot hit anything. Oh, he just crit one-shot it. Nice. That's kind of... Yeah, I'll take that.
The will to fight.
I think we target whistle the back. One-shot it again. You can stick a debuff, that'd be nice. There we go. It managed to... The thing is, it's annoying, because it managed to go before our Arbalest even got a chance to shoot it. That's a problem. But I mean, as long as we one-shot it, I guess it's not that bad.
Compassion is a rarity in the fever.
Alright, let's just hit it big. Crit for 72. Summon. Anti-Venom. Crit for 58. Crit for 26. Okay, now we just have this thing.
Wait, the sharpened blade.
She can't hit it, unfortunately. It gets a turn. Reconstitute, that's it. We can... That's fine. Okay. Yeah. So in the end, we only use 2 camps. But yeah, the this map is massive, and those things, you always run into one, and they teleport you around. So, depending on how things go, you could end up getting really unlucky. We did get teleported at the funniest possible time, but the game was nice enough to teleport us right here, which is honestly not bad. This is definitely much harder if you go in blind, though, I will say. Jester need leper, leper need jester, leprous jester. Okay, relax. Last time, when my level 3 heroes did a long level 3 quest, my jester was the only one to die. Oof. Didn't know jester leper synergy was a real thing. Yeah, it's definitely a thing. Because leper has such high base damage but low accuracy. So the battle ballad, not only does it offset the accuracy, and it offsets the accuracy and low speed of the leper, and then on top of that, the leper benefits a lot from crit rate because its base damage is so high that when he crits, it hits even harder. "72 crit, my record is broken." Oh really, was that the... So it's pure gamble whether you get teleported to the quest objective. Well, they always teleport you somewhere around the edge of the map. But the difference is that, like, depending on where you get teleported, the fastest route to the center is going to have more obstacles or less obstacles. And we got teleported to one that had basically no obstacles. You picked up a disease, bulimic. You saw all that shit and started throwing up. Fair enough.
At last, the twisted heart of the world is laid bare. For sword or supplication.
Yeah, I've got to say, the first Darkest Dungeon was rough. I think my my strategy was a bit off, but the second and third... The second dungeon and the third dungeon, I think, worked out really well. Like the leper man-at-arms gestal in the back, that seems to work pretty well. And then that one being these guys. Although maybe it would have worked better if we had probably stacking like what's he called? Highwayman for the pistol shot combined with a sniper shot might be better. But the fact that Megamax could just use Revenge on turn 1 and then just right combined with like Target Whistle is so good against the Mammoth Siths, marking them and then also removing their 25% protection. And then Megamax using Revenge and then stacking that with the bonus from Wolf's Tassel, just completely destroying the Mammoth Cyst. So I think that's a good strategy. And then for the final dungeon, we've got the starter team. Probably going to run it like this, though. The usual suspects. See, it is... I kind of prefer if I can set up Duelist Advance like this, but I want her to have the Prophet's Eye, and I don't think this setup works. So we're going to have to run it like this. Yeah, that's fine. You don't have to worry about camping in the final dungeon. Just got to worry about combat. Reynold is fine the way he is. This is basically... I mean, Battle Healing's also got its uses, but the other two not as much. Yeah, this is basically fine. That's it, and... yeah, I don't think you need incisions. This is good. How many deaths we have? Yeah, so even if we do send in everyone, then we're fine. You know what? Actually, hold on. Let's play some bets. Let's start a poll. Will the Plague Doctor die? We already have 3 Plague Doctors in the grave. So will Burb be next? Let's see what the people think. I mean, it's kind of early in the votes, but that's a bit harsh, don't you think? 75%? Come on now. Although, to be fair, you do kind of have to sacrifice some people. Every sequel is worse? Well, that's not always true. Some sequels are better. Just look at Shrek. They don't just want to go back to the dungeon. No, people don't leave you. Unless I dismiss them for being useless. No, I didn't. No, people don't leave. Someone in our first dungeon run, someone died, but everyone after that has survived. But no, once they're the effect of this torch is that they will refuse to go back into the dungeon, which is... the idea is that they've seen horrors so terrible that they never want to go back there. However, I will say there is a bit of a contradiction there, because if you retreat from the darkest dungeon, they don't get marked with the torch, meaning that they can go back in. You can go in there, decide that you need to retreat, even though when you do retreat, it sacrifices someone at random as a punishment. And despite all of that, you can send the other 3 back into the dungeon later. Which is kind of at odds with the lore explanation. But, you know, the real reason, from a gameplay perspective, the reason they can't go back in is so that you have to run... you can't just run like one super team. You've got to have multiple teams ready. Although there actually is a setting that... you can change the settings to allow you to take the same team back in. But even if you turn on that setting, they still get a bunch of stress if they go back in. Well, regardless, none of that matters for what we're going to do. What did I miss? You missed Dungeon 2 and Dungeon 3. We're about to enter the final Darkest Dungeon. Oh, hey, look at that. Live and Die is actually a lot closer now. Fuck, yeah. We're about to enter true spoiler territory. Yeah, we did actually destroy the last two DD runs. The first one was pretty rough, but Dungeon 2 and Dungeon 3 through pretty smoothly. I think we're going to call the poll there. That's a 45-55, so pretty close. Will the Plague Doctor finally live, or will they die? Stay tuned to find out. You know, considering Reynold's my only Crusader, I actually haven't used one of these in, like, forever. Which is kind of funny, because usually I have multiple Crusaders and end up leaning on them quite a bit. But in this case, that just hasn't happened. Alright, well, the Plague Doctor's pretty simple. We toss on Blasphemous Vial. She is pretty simple. Buzzard gets the classic combo, the Vestal combo. Prophet's Eye, Junia's Head. That should be good. We're not going to need Bloody Herb, which means that we have a slot opened. Probably going to skip. We actually ended up using Tempting Goblet, which is nice. Because it's such a strong item, but it's so hard to fit into a build usually. But being able to use it on the Occultist felt pretty good there. What else do you need? Probably... I mean, stats-wise, definitely Tempting Goblet would be nice. But 25... Getting 50% increased stress is a little much. It's a little overboard. Feather Crystal's also decent. Probably don't want to waste the candle on that. I think we might just go Book of Sanity. As simple as it is. I'm not sure stun... Well, I mean, stuns... You know what? Actually, we can stun them, can't we? Probably still going to run Paralyzer's Crest. And then along with that... some kind of accuracy bonus. 110, 105. His accuracy's not amazing. Focus Ring. Yeah, it's pretty simple and straightforward. The other option is to double down on Protection. But it's probably, for most of the fight, it's going to be better to just stun them and kill them. And rely on the back row for sustain. Inspiring Christ probably still worth running. And that leaves you. And you've got good dodge, so Ancestor's Code is tempting. We both know what attack may or may not one-shot two of them. Yeah. Hi, I hope you do not get team-wiped. Ominous. But generally speaking, I think the last dungeon is probably the easiest. Like the fight relies a lot more on unique gimmicks, which are fun. They're definitely fun to play with, but they're not too hard to manage. Actually, there are parts of the fight where accuracy doesn't actually matter that much. Or, sorry, not accuracy. Damage doesn't matter that much, but... So we could go... One option is to go like this. Plus 10 accuracy. Maximum accuracy and dodge and not worry about the damage numbers. That's an option. It's 25% stress. It's still manageable. The other option, probably the pen, I think is going to be good. Something like this. Accuracy penalty, but we do have U for sustain in the back. We can remove dots. So instead focusing on 13% crit, 10% damage, 10 accuracy, it's also quite good. Yeah, this is probably fine. The pen is mightier than the flintlock pistol. Although the candle's also nice. Speed isn't going to matter too much because the fight's so long. It's just one long boss fight with multiple stages, and in that sense, speed is not that important. So it's 5 dodge, 15. Yeah, in that, looking at it that way, I don't think the candle's worth it. Yeah, I think that's it. Prophet's Eye, and then the head, Blasphemer's Vial, Book of Sanity, Ancestor's Pen, Focus Ring, Paralyzer Crest, Focus Ring. Although Paralyzer's Crest feels a little uninspired. It's just a 20% stun chance, but Stunning Blow is really good. You can also go tank mode and just stack up 45% protection. Less accurate, lower stun chance, but you can just sit there and take hits. Which, in a longer fight like this, might actually have merit. Because it is going to be one protracted fight, just being able to tank hit, absorb damage without needing too much healing is nice. Oh, he still has Thanatophobia. I never cured that. That's annoying. Should be fine though, right? Because there are parts of the fight where stunning is not super useful. So the other option is to go more damage focused, which is not really what the Crusader's too good at. And it's okay. Can you play Fire Emblem in Iron Man stream? Trollface. I mean, I've never played Fire Emblem, but those kinds of tactics games do seem kind of fun. This is actually a case where I think the Bulwark of Faith has merit. Because if you stack that with this, then he takes no damage from anything except dots. But we have Battlefield Medicine for that. Considering I don't think he needs to stun too much, it's probably fine. In fact, I don't think Holy Lance is doing much, since he's on the front line. And I don't think they can shuffle you in this final fight. At least not much. You know what, let's try it. No, Guild. Let's give it a try. It's worth Be normal. Take your normal pills, damn it. Because you can just drop that at the beginning of the fight, and then you're going to have 75% protection. And the move resist is plus 40%. 20% stress, but he can heal himself with Inspiring Cry. You assume the Plague Doctor is going to live long enough. They will. Is the Antiquarian good? I have no idea what her deal is. The Antiquarian has a couple of gimmicks. The first one is that you can stack more gold per inventory slot. And the second gimmick is that when the Antiquarian is, like, when you're interacting with a curio, you want the Antiquarian to do it, because she finds extra stuff. Those are her gimmicks. Her combat value is lower, but she gives you more loot. That's the answer, Dark Souls is my city. The reason she doesn't seem that strong is because she's more of a logistics character. That being said, her late game combat value is actually okay on some teams. She can do that? Yep. That's what she does. Late game combat value is actually not terrible because of Invigorating Vapors. When you max this out, it provides plus 10 dodge to the entire team, and you can stack it up to 3 times. So if you just spam this every turn, then that's 30 dodge team-wide. And with some dodge trinkets on your guys, you can have like 40% baseline. Stack that with Invigorating Vapors, and now you've got 70% team-wide. At which point, you're basically... all you need is like a healer in there, and then you can just heal off any random hits you get. Is loot chance a stat you can see? No. It's a It's not like a stat, it's just a specific gimmick for the Antiquarian. The game doesn't tell you this, which does make it a little confusing, but yeah. It's just her special ability. Nobody else does that. I'm drunk on strawberry vodka. You say that like that's a new thing. Given some of your rants, Buzzard, I just assumed that you were all the time. But you know, it does sound delicious. Alright, but, well, anyways, that covers that. Yeah, I think we're gonna... As much as I talk shit about Bulwark of Faith, I think this might actually be useful here. 75% protection is kind of insane. And you know what? He's got a built-in damage buff. He does have that going for him. The main thing is the lack of accuracy, but I don't think that's actually as big of a deal in the final dungeon either. This setup should be fine. Alright, let's go. We embark into the dark. Yeah, okay, we can't get rid of that. So none of that matters. I guess we'll bring torches. Really what matters is these. None of this other it's funny that they sell you... like, you're going into the darkest dungeon and they put shovels there. I swear, it's just to troll you on your first time, because this is a waste of money. You don't need shovels. I mean, this doesn't do anything. We're not going to need all those torches, but I'm going to grab them. In fact, I could just grab everything, because it actually doesn't matter, but... You know what? Might as well throw in laudanum. I don't think they hit you with horror, but if they do, it'll be helpful. Yeah, let's go. I must leave. Sadly, my darkest dungeon is calling. Alright, see you later then. Have a good one. You'll notice that in the final dungeon, the Ancestor doesn't say anything. There's no grand introduction. Unlike the first three. Why is Bulwark of Faith bad? Because you have to spend a turn buffing, and the damage reduction you get isn't usually worth it. Typically, it's a lot better to just stun the enemy or kill the enemy, rather than try to buff your protection. In this case, I think it's actually viable, though. Shovels to tickle the ribcage, yeah.
In all my terrible researches, what I sought was a glimpse behind the veil, a crumb of cosmic truth. I found it here, and in that moment of brain-blasting realization, I ceased to be a man, and became a herald, an avatar of the crawling chaos.
Oh yeah, the light level's always maximum, so the torches actually don't do anything. I forgot.
Life feeds on life. In your petty pursuit of family redemption, you consume those who rally to your cause, and in so doing, you strengthen the thing, accelerating the end. This is as it should be. It is why you are here.
Final boss time? Yeah. I mean, it is a little bit of cosmic horror, what can I say? In the same vein as the Dwellers. But Dwellers are red, this is purple, so it's very different.
We are chained here forever, you and I. at the end of the world. Free yourself, rouse the thing, and embrace the ineffable cosmic hideousness that lives within us all. You still foolishly consider yourself an entity separate from the whole. I know better. And I will show you.
Alright. Phase 1. Given his track record, yeah, the Ancestor's a bad guy. He was a bad guy before he got involved with any of this crap. But then it turns out that he also is working for the Eldritch entity we're about to fight. Let's see. Yeah, Ancestor right now is invincible, so we have to focus down the perfect reflections. We might be able to stun them. Yeah, it's only 72%, which is something I feel like I've said a lot, but then they resist it anyways. Not even bleed, huh? So the crit didn't stun, but that did. I was about to say he's dead to the bleed, but he's not now. You know what? Set up a riposte. Bro, did he just dodge both of those? That's so overkill. He doesn't even need to. Oh, that should give us... yeah, there it is. So that's the imperfect reflections. The perfect reflections, you have to kill them to get rid of them, and eventually he makes the imperfect reflections. And killing these does damage to the Ancestor. You see he's got 6 HP, but you can't hurt him directly. He takes 1 damage every time you take one of these out. It's more or less how it works. Let's see. Yeah, I guess kill this. It's a nice crit. Yeah, there's the damage. He's gonna heal him. Still dead to the blight, though. Sucks to be you, Lamau. Just undo some stress. Always makes me smile when my dumb title suggestion make it onto stream. I mean, it was a good one. I will give you that. First we dark, then we dungeon. He did us a favor and gave us 2 at once. That's pretty nice. I guess we ignore the one in the front for now. But yeah, you can see they're not actually hurting us too bad. They definitely made this fight's more about spectacle than difficulty, I think. Which is probably a good call for the final dungeon. Yeah. Heal him if you want. Crit for 3, classic. Yeah, we'll bandage. And there's another one. Lovely. He did put that one in the back, which makes it a little annoying. Yeah, there's a fair amount of stress. Okay. Yeah, I think we want to get our stress down because we're going to keep you around. There we go. Zip zap zop. Yeah, the main problem right now is that they're stressing him out. It's a lot. Not a fan. That's not a lot of damage. Well, I guess we'll just have to hope that Reynold is the GOAT. At this rate, it's starting to look like we're just gonna have to get lucky. And then we get Virtue. Crit for 40 definitely helps. Ugh. 80? Really? It didn't even kill him. Okay. No, that's fine. It's another imperfect. The crits, for some reason, are the ones that fail the most. Not exactly sure what's going on there. Now you can do that, that's fine. I really would have preferred if they targeted somebody else with their spamming the stress. Yeah, if they want to target her in the back, that's fine. Spread out the stress damage. They do seem to target him, probably because of the mark, to be honest, which defensively is kind of fine, but... yeah, now it's presenting issues. Yeah, there it is. Just get Virtuous. Holy shit. He's just the goat. He's actually insane. He's actually just the goat. There's no way. There's no way. Reynold is built different. That's why he's the GOAT! A wise man said that once. Holy shit. He did just straight up hit it. Crazy style. Yeah. Reynold is straight up an anime protagonist. Yeah, and oh my god, he's actually unkillable. Wait. The fact that he hit Vigorous means he heals himself every turn. And he's got 75% damage reduction. And even if they stress him out again, he can't... he might actually just solo the entire dungeon. Like, even if we just lost everybody else at this point. Because he just takes no damage and heals off all the damage. He's actually broken. Yeah, the first Crusader... yeah, this is the first Crusader. You always start with Reynold and Dismas as your first two guys. In fact, taking the two of them to the final dungeon gives you an achievement, but it didn't pop up because I already have that achievement. Oh, that crit hit... holy shit. It's a good thing he hit Virtuous, because that's a lot. I'm not as worried about using bandages on him anymore, but I definitely don't want a heart attack. That would be annoying. Unlike Lobotomy Corp, this is not a blind playthrough. Yeah, I've beaten this game once. There we go, the riposte. Yeah, they really do so much stress damage. He's healing himself physically, but mentally we don't want a heart attack. So we still have to worry about that. Although I think once we get through this, it'll be less of an issue. They always resist it when she crits, but when she doesn't crit, they get stunned. It's a bit backwards, if you ask me. Yeah, we'll just hit this guy in the front. Yeah, 119 is a lot. No crit heals is a bit unfortunate. Okay, that should kill this one, yeah. And that's the last. Then we hit stage 2. So these nothingness things are completely invincible, you can't kill them. But now you can kill the Ancestor directly. So pistol shot is going to come in handy. Some of his moves are a little crazy looking, as you might have noticed. Let's go for a stun. Finally, she gets the... She's crit a lot, but her crits never work until now. Yeah, you really need to get your stress down. Nice. Yeah, this part of the fight is very easy to manage if you have like one stun. Because the shadows block attacks, but they don't do anything. And he only has one action per turn. So it's definitely much more spectacle focused rather than trying to outright kill you. That being said, yeah, let's get under 100. That'd be nice. Every time we crit, Reynold is the only one not getting stress healing off of it, which is a little annoying. Bro is 2 meters tall? Well, this is not his original form. To be fair, he was not naturally 2 meters tall. This is after becoming an eldritch entity. Some kind of goddamn creature. Straight up, just keep tanking that. Keep bringing down that stress, buddy. Just straight up. And of course he crits on Reynold. The damage isn't much, but the stress is. Everyone else is starting to get stressed too now, but should be fine, right? Of course, as soon as I use it on someone else, they get the crit heal. That didn't... Oh, he's at 0? Question mark? There it is.
The flesh is immortal. It is undying. Pray it does not take too hideous a form.
So this thing... it might actually be good to set up riposte. Yeah. When you hit it, it blights you. It's a bit awkward. It's not its final form, for sure. You also heal when you hit it. It's a bit weird. Probably best to move you back. You heal, but you also get blighted. Crit for 31. The goat. Okay, so that does not trigger riposte. Good to know. You want to do as much damage to this thing as you can before it hatches. And it is going to hatch. Oh, we resisted across the board. Nice. There it is.
Behold the
Yeah, you can see some of the damage that we dealt sticks.
progenitor of life, father and mother, alpha and omega, our creator and our destroyer.
Yeah, I think we're about to... Yep, here it is. No way! Unholy foulness. It's too horrible, no! Yeah, you've got to pick somebody. We're picking the Vestal. I mean, strictly speaking, I think, from a sustainability standpoint, keeping the Crusader and Vestal is best, but we're going to power through this with damage. Goodbye. Nice riposte. Oh, he's stunned. Ugh. Crit for 31. I don't know why Reynolds fucking critting, but he is. I can't even use the anti-venom because he was stunned. Cringe. Now the thing is, if you kill this thing fast enough, you actually can, oh shit, he's Death Door already. We might just get rid of, Dismas instead. Yeah, he's probably gonna die to these anyways. Strategically, it makes the most sense to pick him. As much as I like having Reynold and Dismas in the end. Irrational, I mean, we can live with that. Oh yeah, you can't even use anything except Noxious Blast, which is a bit awkward, but, you know, it's whatever. Irrational is a bit annoying, but not the end of the world. I mean, at this point, he's... like, Reynolds can solo this pretty easily. Stun, resist the blight. Holy water again. Smack it up a bit. 21 blight is a lot. Alright, you... it's time for the kill.
Victory. A hollow and ridiculous notion. We are born of this thing, made from it, and we will be returned to it in time. The great family of man. A profusion of errant flesh, multiplying, swarming, living, dying, until the stars align in their inexorable formation, and what sleeps is roused once more. To hatch from this fragile shell of earth and rock, and bring our inescapable end. So seek solace in a manner befitting your lineage, and take up your nugatory vigil, haunted forever by that sickening prose echoing through the infinite blackness of space and time. Ruin has come to our family.
And so it is. Pretty cool, right? It's a great ending that ties back into the beginning of the game. The Plague Doctor did live, despite what some people thought. The Plague Doctor did live. And so it was. Victory. A fleeting and hollow notion. So the Earth explode? Well, no, the Earth is going to explode. The idea is that we killed the heart of the thing, but we didn't actually kill it. We just blew up its heart, which put it to sleep for a little while, but eventually it's going to wake up. And the whole point is that the ancestor sent out letters to a bunch of his relatives, calling them to this place because every adventurer that dies in these dungeons feeds it with their blood. In the end, we didn't join him. We decided to resist by putting it back to sleep, but it's an inevitability is the idea. Some people, yeah. Time for New Game Plus? Well, strictly speaking, that was New Game Plus. At least in older versions of the game. Stygian difficulty was you had to beat the game, and then that was New Game Plus. Eventually they changed it so that it's just a difficulty option you can pick up front instead, which makes more sense. Oh, so you weren't the only one. That's what the ending seems to suggest. Because what happens is that when you play on Stygian difficulty, which used to be New Game Plus, the reason that that's relevant is because normally at the start on the old road, there's just like a random tent. But when you play on New Game Plus, there's the ghost, which is supposed to be the last character that you played as, because you shoot yourself at the end, and then you become the ghost you saw in that cutscene. Like if you go back to the first episode in this run, where we're on the old road, you'll see that exact ghost, because that's supposed to be you from the last playthrough. Can you boot up Star Sector and talk about the Condor for 20 hours, please? Not today, but I'll consider it in the future. And every time a new run starts, a new relative comes. That's more or less the idea. Yeah, and that's why Stygian ends at 12 deaths. Too many deaths and, well, the thing awakens. Now, the thing about the ending there is that you can actually get through the final boss fight without any deaths through a couple of different possibilities. The first option is to just, if you kill it fast enough, it never actually then it never has a chance to use Come Unto Your Maker, and then you never have to sacrifice anyone. The other option is if you only bring 2 characters to the final boss fight. You never get hit, like the ability only triggers if you have more characters. That's the way that works. So let's say that in the early stages of the fight, if you lost 2 characters already, it's not going to hit you with that ability. I think they did a good job at balancing that. It only hits you if you have 4 characters, and the second one only hits you if you have 3 characters. But that means that if you show up with only 2 characters in the first place, it never triggers. Or if you show up with like 3 Plague Doctors and a Leper, you use Invigorating Vapors on the Leper, and the Leper uses like Revenge. It is possible to, I've heard that it's possible to one-shot that final boss, in which case, it's just never going to get a chance to use its ability. So it is possible to get through it deathless, it's just not quite, you got to use a little bit of roundabout methods. I think we can open up the estate still. Yeah, it's still here. Yeah, I think probably maybe a couple months from now I'll start another Darkest Dungeon run. Play it on the...
in comparison to that final crowning thing.
Yeah, that's gone now.
Look, nor could I look
and do another run and play it on with the Crimson Court, because yeah, we didn't have that for this run. So there's still more things you can do with this game. But yeah, here are the survivors. Mojo Man, Smooth Bandit, Dr. Jagan. All of these guys. And then, the extras. But with that being that, I think it's fair to call it here. I bet someone sold it. Oh, they definitely have. People have figured out ways to do that. For sure. Crimson Court and Blood Moon. Yeah, but that's for the future. For now, we're going to call it here. It's been a good run. So yeah, next week, I think I'll pick up... Well, we still have to finish Lobotomy Corp. But other than that, I'll probably start a new Star Sector run. Until then, I'll see you all later. Take it easy.